So, what was my drug induced, prostitute fueled trip to Germany like a few years ago? Let's talk about it. Yo, guys, what's up? It's your boy Jesse coming to you today with another video. I'm going to talk a little bit about how my trip to Germany was when I was by myself and it was just me. This is before I got with my fiance. I just want to preface that so you guys don't think I'm that bad of a person. But before I get into the video today about being in Germany and all the fun, crazy stuff I did there, hit that like and subscribe button, guys, so I can keep making videos like this for y'all, and it lets YouTube know to push this video out to more people. So, my first solo trip was to Germany. I didn't think much about it. I thought Germany would be a lot like USA. I thought the laws would be very much similar to what USA's laws were. This is before I started vaping and whatnot. When I went to Germany, the prices were a little more expensive than I expected. I think it was more expensive in Germany. Most things were more expensive there than they are in the USA. The alcohol was not more expensive. I could find alcohol in Germany really cheap, actually. I was surprised at how cheap some of the alcohol was. And I went to Berlin, and I was in Nuremberg as well. At first I was in Nuremberg, and there I stayed at a very cheap hotel right down the road from the red light district. The red light district, and for all of y'all that don't know, is the place where prostitutes, well, at least in Germany, they hung their head out the window and they would call for you and you could pick which one you wanted and whatnot. I spent a lot of money there. I know it's not good, but it was wild. It was very wild. I thought I was having a good time. After Nuremberg, I decided to go to Germany. And Germany's where all the crazy stuff started to happen. We thought Nuremberg was crazy. Germany was even more, or Berlin was even more crazy. I found out that there was a shop there that sold legal LSD that is not illegal in Germany. I bought some, and I was tripping. I remember I was with a friend too. I kind of knew the effects of LSD. I knew I'd done a lot of research on psychedelics. I find psychedelics something that's very interesting. And in Germany, it was legal, that LSD. And so I took a bunch. How much did I take? I don't even remember. But it was enough. You'll see how much it was. You'll see when I say it was enough, it was definitely enough. He took as much as me, but he'd never done his research on it. And we decided, let's go to the brothel. They had a brothel there called Artemis. I remember the name because my favorite Greek goddess is Artemis, so I'll never forget that name. So we went there. And I hate to say this, but one of the prostitutes there, she already knew who I was because I'd been there so often. I was basically a regular at that point. And so, I didn't want to leave my friend because I was worried for him because he took as much as me. And even though I'd never taken that much, I still I still had an idea of how to handle this kind of stuff. And I was worried that he wouldn't. Well, she came and got me. She found me downstairs with him, making sure he was okay. And she pulled me away from him, and I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have let myself get pulled away. And whatever happened with the prostitute and all that. And then I paid her, but I started freaking out at that point. So I went to the bathroom and sat in the stall, and I had a complete ego death. Kid you or not, guys, it was an ego death. My spirit left my body. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was in a cartoon character, and I don't even know how else to explain this. It was almost like cartoonish, but I was in the universe. And then I would snap back into reality, and I started to see the stall walls move and become demons, and I was worried that I was about to get sucked into the wall, that I was going to be trapped in the brothel for eternity. And I kept saying, I was on video chat with someone too. It was my now ex. And I was on video chat with her, like, freaking out really bad, sweating so bad. And I was saying things like, I want to be trapped in the wall. This is how they get you. This is it. I'm going to be stuck in a brothel wall with demons for the rest of eternity. And this is how they suck you in. You'll never be able to leave. I don't know how else to explain what I was feeling. Like, that was what was going through my mind. But at the same time, it was just, I don't want to say it was fun, but it was so interesting looking back at it. It's interesting to see, because I wish I knew how that worked. I wish I knew how it messed with the brain to the point that it would make you think like that and see those kinds of things. And that's why I find psychedelics so interesting, though, personally, because I want to understand why it does that. Not so much what it does, but why it does it. But anyhow, I was in the stall for probably 45 minutes or so, 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. I don't even know. I can't remember. But I walked out by the pool, sat by the pool. You know, I was relaxing at that point. That part had calmed down. I was fully relaxed at that point. But I had energy, but I was relaxed. I don't know how to say that either. Euphoria, I guess, is what they would term it as. And I would notice my friend every now and then. I'd see him walk, look around, walk, and I'd see him come out, look around, walk. There was 4 of us. And my other friend kept saying, yeah, because I stopped seeing my friend who also took the LSD. I stopped seeing him walk out. And I told my other friend who was out by the pool and said, have you seen him? I'm starting to worry because I haven't seen him. And he goes, oh, yeah, I've seen him, this and that. And then my other friend, who had a big smile on his face, he was having a good time, come out and he's like, have you guys seen this, our friend? I haven't seen him. I'm like, oh, no, I haven't either. We started looking around. Eventually, one of the guards saw us looking around. One of the guards was not happy, even though I told them they shouldn't have done it. And listen, the guard's like, what are y'all doing? Why are you looking around? And we said, we were looking for a friend. We don't know where he went. And the guard said, oh, you mean the guy who just threw off his robe and ran, like we were wearing robes and boxers, that was it, and sandals. And then we were like, oh, no, you gotta be kidding, joking. Well, we found out he wasn't joking. My friend had freaked out on that stuff, just ran out. He was just gone. We had to go look for him. It was like a movie. I felt like I was out there for hours, looking everywhere for him for hours. It had only been 45 minutes. And we freaked out so much we even called the police. And I guess this is common in Germany. My friend, I remember, called the police and the police answered. And my friend goes, do you speak English? And the officer literally, this word for word, he says, yes, do you? It was just the world. It's like, oh, well, okay, yeah, it speaks English. We told him the situation, and the officer said, yeah, well, it's all right. Good luck. And that was basically the gist of it. The officer just said, good luck finding him. Because, like I said, the stuff was legal. And we were foreigners, so we probably did this stuff probably happens all the time in Germany. But we ended up finding him, or he found us. We're walking, and then all of a sudden we hear someone whistling behind us. We turn around and look, and there he is, walking with a smile on his face. We were having a good time. We were freaked out a little bit about him, but when we found him, everything calmed down. It was a fun night. It was so different. I didn't expect all that to happen the way it did. But it happened, and it's a story that I will never forget. It's a story that I'll always have with me, and it's the most memorable thing that has ever happened to me in my traveling experience. Everything we did, completely legal. Nothing was illegal. Everything we did, we were allowed to do as tourists in Germany. And this was years ago. I don't do this stuff now. But years ago, I was wild, and we were allowed to do it, and we did it, and we all have a story to tell now because of that. I enjoyed my time in Germany. I would like to go back, not for that reason though. I really want to show my fiance some of the places I saw in Germany. There's some really nice restaurants in Germany, nice romantic spots in Germany that I didn't expect. When you think of romance, you usually think of France, you think of Paris. But Berlin had some nice romantic spots as well. That's my story, guys. That's probably my most memorable experience ever when it comes to traveling. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm interested to know what people think of such a wild story. And know that you guys are valuable and that you matter. God bless.